Hey everybody, welcome to BS for Build. I'm Chris. Today I'm very excited. We are doing the first episode of the Camaro series. I had a couple hours left in today and I wanted to get started. I had some parts come in the mail and I want to get started on the Camaro. So if you watched episode 1, we did a digital outline of what we wanted to create with the car. I ordered a lot of those parts. And so what I wanted to do is start breaking down some of the things that we're not going to need in this car, and so I could put those away into storage. One thing to remember is, since this car is classic and it's a collector's item, I'm not just going to do kind of what I normally do, which is rip parts out and like throw them somewhere, throw them away or whatever. I'm going to keep these parts, I'm going to clean them up, and I'm going to store them for when I do eventually sell this car, so I can sell it as, you know, a original, not the modified. It's not a resto mod. It was a restored car and it'll be restored even more, but the mods that I'm going to do are going to be temporary. I'm not going to be cutting core support or anything else like that. I'm just going to be working around what the car's actually got, but I'm going to take a lot of stuff off because I don't like it. So I wanted to, you know, film that and bring you guys along with me on that. So anyways, we're going to start by doing a front end teardown, and then after this I'm really excited because it's the part that I love the most about cars is we're going to be building some custom stuff and creating some custom stuff for this front end application. Check it out. Haha! After a lightning quick wardrobe change, we're ready to get to it. I'm going to start by popping this grill out, and then we'll go for the headlights. Yeah. There's every bug that got in my way from here to San Francisco. Chicago. I didn't drive to San Francisco, Chicago. Just by doing that, removing 3 things, the car already looks so much meaner. It's so much better. Those headlights just are like big old googly dorky eyes on this thing that don't need to be there. Alright, and with that piece off, that is as broken down as the front of this car is going to get. Time to go get some other parts from inside and start mocking them up and try and build it back up. Alright, well, we're kind of losing daylight, but I wanted to show you guys what the game plan is. So if you remember the rendering, we basically cut out the headlights, and so the stock headlights weren't going to work. So what I did was, and I've done this before on other cars and I really like doing this, is I just jumped on eBay and ordered some black housing. These are the 2012 Camaro headlights. So what we're going to do is we're going to modify the wiring harness from this car to jump over to this 2012 headlight, and that should work out fine. I need to remove this bar to sneak this guy in there, and I think though in the end, once we get it in and get it placed, it'll be able to sit back. I think we're going to have space before the core support. That's going to be the big question mark, and I'm not sure yet, but we'll modify these in any way. That's the game plan, to make those work. Now this is our blacked out piece that I ordered on eBay, and it looks great. The only issue is that it doesn't really take up all the space that I want it to. When it kind of snugs up here, it leaves a whole lot of space down here. What I'm assuming is there's a bunch of trim and molding pieces that are probably in the trunk of the car that are supposed to fill in this space. But I really like it being bigger, so what I'm thinking about doing is modifying this piece to have more layers and be able to come down more, or custom fabricating my own piece like this. So that'll be some of the next things that I'll be thinking about. And that's it for tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow. What's up guys, we're back. We're working on the Camaro, and I have a decision to make that's kind of difficult. So I went down to the hardware store and I got my flat iron that I want to use to build my grill. I bought one of these grills on eBay that's for the stock car, and in the end, after test fitting it up and stuff, I really don't like it. It doesn't fill the entire space, because what it wants to have is a couple inches of molding through here and through here, and then these pieces basically go like that, and they don't fill out this area here either. And in the end, I just decided, screw it, I'd rather build my own. So I went down to the hardware store and I bought all the aluminum pieces that I need. But what I have to decide is whether I want to go flat across here or if I want to go in a little bit more. Now in my mock-up, in the digital copy that we did, it had about this much lip. Well, I don't have that much lip on my car, and I'm not going to custom fabricate anything onto these pieces, so I have about a 1/2 inch of a lip that I can work with. Now if I go flat across, I would go from here flat across over to here, and this center support gets in the way. Now the center support is something that I can take out really easily, and I can modify it, and when I want to return the car back to stock, for instance to sell it or whatever, I could just buy a new one. It'll be really cheap and I can bolt it right in there. So first step I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this piece so I can look at what it would look like if it was going flat across the front rather than having the, I don't know if you guys can see this on the camera or not, but it has an angled bend to it. And I want to go flat across and just try it out, because if I do all the pieces with an angled bend, then obviously I can't go back to flat. And once I cut the pieces to fit this, something with an angled bend is obviously going to take up a lot more material than something that's straight across. So basically once I cut the pieces of aluminum, I can't go back. I can't switch it to angled. So I'm taking this piece off, and then I'll try and mock up what it would look like if I had something that was flat across the front. Alright, well I popped that cross member out. I got plenty of space. I tried mocking it up with some different stuff, but I don't have any real materials that fit in here very well to get a better visual look. I'm confident enough now. I'm going to go ahead and go with the straight across look. I haven't seen any other cars do it. That's kind of like a little bit of a Charger look. Some of the Dodge Chargers back in the day had a straight across grille. But I want to try it. I want to be a little bit unique, a little bit original with this build, and I think no matter how it turns out, I think I'm going to like it. And right here we're going to have like a bit of a void. There's going to be some space, and same with up top. So what I'll do is I'll just build a lip out of sheet metal out here that'll extend it a little bit and take up that blank space. But I think it'll actually look cool. I think it'll be better than doing the really standard kind of bend. It's a little bit, everybody does it that way, and I don't always want to be like everybody else. So anyways, I'm going to go straight across. Alright, so to build my grill, what I've done is I've taken all my pieces of aluminum that are going to be the little slots in the grill, stacked them up on top of each other and taped them together so they're a nice solid bundle. The next thing I did was measure out 2 spots in the middle where I want to have my bolt that's going to sink through every single piece, where I want that to be centered. I just picked structurally a place that looks like it'll be kind of in the middle of things, and then I double checked on the car to make sure it wouldn't look too weird. So then I marked 2 layers. Now I'm going to drill a hole all the way through, and then I'm going to take my threaded rod and sink it through there, and then space these all out with some nylon spacers. Okay, so it turns out my random guessing on how many of these pieces I would need, I was off. So I'm going to run down to the hardware store and try and pick up some more. The local hardware store is out because I bought every single one they had, so I'm going to have to go try a different hardware store and see what I can do. I'm going to get more of these spacers for the middle and try and get a couple more of these. I need about 4 or 5 more of these pieces, so hopefully another hardware store will have some more. Alright, what's up everybody? We're back. I went to the hardware store, got some more of these aluminum pieces. If anybody else is doing this for their Camaro at home, I'm using 1/2 inch spacers. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pieces of 6-foot long aluminum. So if you want to pick any of those up at the hardware store and do this on your own. Also 2 2-foot long threaded rods that I'm using. So I got this all set up. I put 2 more supports in here. So when we started, we did the 2 middle ones. I measured out another space that I wanted to do 2 more. So we got 2 more in there, and that's all set up. So the next step is I need to cut these edges to match with the car. But to do that, I got to figure out the right line for the car. So what I'm going to do is send this over to the car. All right, we're over here looking at the car. So to measure this up properly, you can't really slide this thing all the way back there with the pieces back there and there. So what I want to do is I'm going to drop this piece out temporarily and then mount the grill up in here a little bit. That way I could take a Sharpie or something and draw this line to get all my cutting points on all of those pieces. Alright, well that took literally forever, but I was able to get it zip tied up into some spots here. So now I'm just going to take my Sharpie and draw the line on where I want to cut these. And then I got to come up with some ingenious way to cut them without bending them all. Hey, all right, we're back. I feel like we're getting a little bit closer to the finish line. So I got everything all trimmed up and I'm test fitting it in here, and just a couple points of input here. If you have a friend that can help you with this job, take them up on the offer, because it can be really helpful to have somebody hold the edges and keep things sturdy so you don't bend this metal around too much. Also, I was really worried about, you know, how these edges were gonna look when I cut them. You can basically tuck them in here and they'll be hidden, so that's really nice too. So basically, once I did that trimming on the outside, I can shove this thing way in there and get the look that I'm looking for, and I don't have to worry about how clean these edges on the outside look. So you can do that with a lot of different tools for cutting. So the last thing I got is my hood pop. I still want my hood pop to work, so I'm going to cut out a couple rungs of this, and then I'll go start looking for final placement and how I'm going to build my mounting brackets. All right, well, we got the grill test fitted. I think it's looking pretty good. I could be biased because I've been working on it all day, but well, 2 days, but it's looking pretty good. So next step is build a couple brackets somehow to hang this thing and keep it sturdy. And then I need to take this piece, which holds this piece and this piece connected to the front core support, and I'm gonna have to chop it and make room for my my new grill. So I'll chop it and then weld some other supports into it from what I've chopped out. Well, there we have it. The grill is complete, minus paint. So what I did was I built a bracket here and here that built onto this lower piece, and then I built a bracket up here that there's some cross supports to go through here that already had holes in them. I didn't have to drill any holes in the Camaro, so they come down here and here. So I have basically a bracket holding onto this piece and a bracket holding onto this piece on each side. It's really nice using the threaded rod because you can just take a screw, and if I tighten this screw, it pulls this piece up. If I tighten this screw down here, it'll pull this piece down, so you can make sure you get everything in line. All in all, this thing cost about 200 bucks in parts to build, and it took quite a while. It's kind of a meticulous job, but it turned out looking great. So next thing I'm going to do is build a little bit of sheet metal to connect through here. And yeah, overall I got the look that I was looking for. So I'll be painting it right before I paint the rest of the Camaro. And we have a grill. So the next part is headlights. So for the headlights, we have very little space in between here. The headlights need to go in here, and that will be interesting, but very fun to figure out how to build. So with that, that's the end of the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, B is for Build on Facebook, facebook.com/B is for Build, hashtag B is for Build on Instagram, bsforbuild.com, and please remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.